Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Well, our celebration of the Rolex Datejust 70th anniversary rolls right on, and today I have a Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust reference 16234 stainless steel and 18 karat white gold, 36 millimeters. This is the classically proportioned Datejust case with the Jubilee bracelet and a gorgeous fluted 18 karat white gold bezel. Now, I say this is the 70th anniversary of the Datejust, and there's a reason that this model has survived into now the beginning of its 8th decade, and that's because Rolex pretty much got the functionality as well as the proportions right from the get-go in 1945. The first watch to incorporate automatic winding, water resistance, and a jump date. The watch was a wonderful combination of practicality and versatility. Now on my wrist, which is 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, it sits like a 36 millimeter Rolex will sit. That is to say, flat, comfortable, low in profile, easily compatible with a tight dress cuff or a long sleeve. It also has just a little bit more presence than a typical 36 millimeter watch because the Oyster case is so squat and the lugs with the integrated end links have so much more presence than you'd see on a typical narrow lug late 40s, early 50s watch design. So in a lot of ways it reads as more of a 38 or a 40 millimeter on the wrist, but a big part of the ergonomic triumph of this example is the 5-link Jubilee bracelet. I like the Oyster for its presence and its substance. On one of the more sporting variants of the Datejust, for instance, one of the turnograph rotating bezel sports watch variants, I really like the Oyster, but with this one, with white Rolesor, Rolex's signature combination of stainless steel and gold, with a full applied white gold Roman numeral metallic blue Soleil, the sunburst dial, I really think that the alternating brushed and polished delicacy of the 5-link Jubilee is a better match for this particular reference. And that's the nice thing about the Rolex Datejust. There are so many different variants of it on the spectrum from hardcore sports watch to full-blown dress watch that you can really find exactly what you want as a collector and a watch connoisseur. And this example is fine and it's fabulous. I love the way it feels. I love the souplesse of that 5-link Jubilee, which I love to say is the best match, not just for those who prefer a more formal Rolex, but for those who prefer a more formal Rolex and have a smaller wrist like mine. You can wear this watch with ease on a wrist, I would say even below 5.5 inches in circumference. So if you have a smaller wrist, or if you're looking for an ideal ladies watch, this one can definitely suit almost any occasion and almost any user. And the bottom line is, Rolex built every part of this watch. A true manufacturer, everything from the bracelet to the clasp to the case to the bezel to the dial to the movement is Rolex through and through. So while the Datejust, especially a pre-owned Datejust like this early 2000s example, represents a tremendous value and offers a lifetime of service, probably lifetimes plural of service, the bottom line is you're getting more in-house content than many watches that cost multiples of what you would pay for this Datejust. So that's the Rolex value proposition, not just longevity, but vertical integration and a watch that is all Rolex through and through. And speaking of all Rolex, did I mention they build their dials? And this one has an extraordinary example. As you move inboard from the complex, beautifully reflective, fluted white gold bezel, a gorgeous and subtle touch, not ostentatious, but fine and refined. You move inboard to see this white printed railroad or sector chapter ring around applied white gold and polished Roman numerals, corresponding white gold hands at center, and the 5-point Rolex coronet at 12 o'clock complete the effect. And I'm going to try to get the light here to catch this dial, because the sunburst reflective pattern, again, I apologize for the limitations of my iPhone, an SLR is on the way, but you can see how the light plays across that sunburst dial and also across the Roman numerals themselves. This is an animated watch with a lot of personality, and it's a personality that morphs according to the light conditions. It's a watch of endless fascination with beautiful contrasting finish on the polished case flanks and the brushed tops of the lugs, continuing on the faceted white gold bezel, and then within the dial on the Roman numerals, the crown, the hands, the sunburst blue. Everything about this watch screams quality. Not necessarily money, but quality. And that's what's most striking about Rolex. The value you get for whatever you do pay. The bottom line is that Rolex is not a brand that's born of ostentatious status, and it took a long time for the Geneva company to embrace its transition from hardcore professional watch manufacture, building Submariners and Comex sea dwellers, Daytonas for race car drivers, GMTs for pilots, to its modern status as something of an upscale brand name synonymous with luxury that almost transcends the luxury watch sector. And designs like the Datejust that predate the modern Rolex image speak to the quality inherent in every Rolex from inception, from the days when they were the choice of explorers, the choice of pilots, even the choice of a couple of astronauts who took them into space. And that same substance goes hand in hand with the modern sense of style in a contemporary Rolex. That's what really forms the basis for the Rolex legend. This is a watch that can be anything you want it to be, but inside it can be only one thing, and that's precise. Powered by a Rolex 3135 movement, this is a modern high beat that is 4 Hz, 28,800 vibration per hour, COSC certified Swiss chronometer movement. As ever, with the jump date, hacking seconds, you can pull the crown out to stop the balance and then precisely coordinate the watch to an atomic clock, a known accurate quartz timer, or a friend's watch just to synchronize. Full balance bridge, handmade Rolex Breguet over coil hairspring on a free-sprung escapement. Although this is a delicate and refined watch on the outside, the nice common thread between all Datejusts is that they do have similar internal running gear, and it's the same movement you would find in an early 2000s Rolex Submariner or Sea Dweller, so make no mistake. It has the look and feel of a dinner watch, but it has the heart of a sports watch. Very tough with a 48-hour power reserve, like the rest of the watch, built entirely by Rolex, right down to the hairspring. This Rolex Datejust, reference 16234, combines two of my favorite metals, white gold and stainless steel, each one honest, each one precious in its own way. But the watch is also remarkably versatile, remarkably discreet, and with a style that's endured since 1945, history's already proved that this is a timeless design and an immortal reference. One of the most important Rolex models ever made. You'll only get one chance to buy one in its 70th year, and this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust, reference 16234, would be one heck of a birthday present.